The education sector is next in line to get vaccinated. The process rolls out tomorrow, and we'll see thousands of J&J vaccines administered to teachers and school staff. What will the process entail? We're joined now by our reporter, Heidi Giokos, who's at the Midrand High, and she's been tracking the story for us. Good morning, Heidi. What's going on there, and are teachers excited or vaccination cautious?
Yes, certainly. I think there's a lot of excitement with regards to educators and the whole complement staff in the basic education sector getting vaccinated as of tomorrow. But of course, there's a lot of hesitancy, there's a lot of caution and anxiety that comes with this, given the fact that there have been a number of setbacks with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and we know that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is going to be set aside for educators specifically. But we are at Midrand High School here in Johannesburg, and we are joined by an English educator. I hope my English isn't too bad today. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. We really appreciate it. I think if we can just start off with the fact that government has decided to prioritise educators and all staff in basic education to start getting vaccinated as of tomorrow. Do you think this came a little too late, given the exposure that educators have gone through since the start of this pandemic?
Thank you very much. I think, first of all, let me say I would like to appreciate and applaud the government for having dispersed the vaccine to schools, because it is that moment when we needed it the most. And maybe in terms of timing, may I say I believe it is the right timing, especially having gone through several waves. Now that we are in the third wave, I think that vaccine will help us a lot, because schools are the areas where there are huge numbers of learners, and when we get vaccinated, it will help us a lot. And especially, again, considering the fact that schools are the safest place for learners to be, so it will lessen that worry, that stress that has been bottling the minds of many, to say, now that we're not vaccinated, now that as we're not vaccinated, we are meeting a lot of people, we're meeting huge numbers of learners on a day-to-day basis. So now that it has been announced, the schools have been prioritized, it is really a good move that I would applaud the GDE together with all the other government structures for having considered the learning fraternity first. Thank you.
Sure, and then just speak to us about the fact that there are alarming numbers in Gauteng currently. We're seeing the majority of positive COVID cases in this province. Speak to us about the exposure that you've had since the start of the pandemic, and are you concerned? There have been calls for schools to shut down, but as an educator, you are on the front line and you see what's actually going on.
Yes, we are at the front line. It is worrisome when you think it that way. But may I say, instead of closing schools, it will rather be better the schools remain open, because this is a place where learners can be controlled. When they are out there in the communities, it is hard for them to be controlled, and they will even end up engaging in other illegal activities like taking drugs, smoking, drinking alcohol, which is not good for their well-being and even in terms of grooming. So when they're at school, yes, it is difficult controlling many learners at a time, but when all is done accordingly, it eases the stress.
Thank you so much for your time. We're just going to speak to one more educator. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. We really appreciate it. Just speak to us about your sentiments. The vaccine is opening up for educators tomorrow. Have you been explained to how the process is going to unfold? Do you know what to do come tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. We have been informed about this. We understand that it's starting tomorrow. And obviously, we do have to bring our ID documents. That's one of the precautionary measures that you have to undergo. And yes, at first priority was made on any teachers between 40s and, from 30s until 60. But now it has been open to everyone else. And yes, we are aware. We are happy. We are actually excited that this is happening. because we've been worried this whole time that we are exposed. And yet at the same time, we do have teachers that are a bit skeptical about it, obviously, based on the fact that most of them were like the side effects. How are these going to affect us at all? And not only side effects, but the effectiveness of the vaccine itself. So, yeah, so I would say that it's a mixed feeling kind of a situation.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. I wish we had more time, Annika, but I think you get a sense of some of the anxiety that comes with tomorrow. And we do know that, it's almost 500,000, if not just over, of those in the basic education sector that will be vaccinated. And just in Gauteng, it's over 120,000 that will be vaccinated, and the target is to have them vaccinated within 10 days.
Heidi, thank you so much as always, and hopefully we can chat to you tomorrow from a school where that vaccination rollout is happening. And I'd also like to know whether educators have to be vaccinated, and if so, what are the consequences?